Hey everybody, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here, and obviously I am traveling at the moment, but the show must go on. And today we're going to be talking about artificial intelligence, because if you didn't know, thanks to AI, you're actually spending more and possibly more than your neighbors. Now, TechSpot had a really good write-up on this, and here's what's going on. The FTC, or Federal Trade Communications Commission, unanimously voted to open investigation into what is called surveillance pricing. Now, it has already ordered 8 different companies, including MasterCard, and we'll get to the rest soon, but MasterCard to provide detailed information about their surveillance pricing practices. Now, MasterCard's surveillance pricing strategy reportedly involves using artificial intelligence, or AI, to analyze vast amounts of consumer data, including purchasing habits, location data, and even social media activity. Now, by virtue of that, vendors then use this data to adjust prices in real time, potentially charging higher prices to consumers deemed more likely to make more expensive purchases. So, for example, let's say you and your neighbor buy a widget and you bought it for $25 and your neighbor found it on sale for $20, their AI might say, well, you're actually willing to spend more. So the next time it's $30, they're going to give it for 30, and maybe your neighbor's going to get it for cheaper because they think your neighbor's cheaper than you, or vice versa. This is what we're talking about. And so by virtue of that, critics are arguing that this practice is invasive and also creates unfair marketplaces where pricing, quite frankly, is not transparent. Now, we've seen that in other places as well. So if you think about cars, for example, you have a $30,000 car, it might be, like, let's say in an urban environment, a more wealthy environment, maybe it's $33,000. And let's say in a less wealthy environment, maybe it's 28,000. But the point is that this is what we're talking about. And so the way states try to get basically even this out is through taxes. So if I, let's say, leave my very expensive area and go buy a car for $5,000 less, the taxes that I would have bringing it into the state would probably even that out. So you're kind of stuck with that higher price. But here, the artificial intelligence is doing it so fast that it becomes variable, and that obviously is a huge issue. And according to FTC's chair, Linda Khan, and I quote, "Firms that harvest Americans' personal data can put privacy at risk. Now firms could be exploiting this vast trove of personal information to charge people higher prices. Americans deserve to know whether businesses are using detailed consumer data to deploy surveillance pricing, and the FTC's inquiry will shed light on this shadowy ecosystem of pricing middlemen," end quote. And I think that is absolutely fantastic that they are indeed looking at this, because quite frankly, we know it's happening and we've got evidence of this. And the other companies, for the record, that are involved in this are Revionics, Bloom Reach, JP Morgan Chase, Task Software, PROS or Pros, Accenture, and McKinsey & Co. Now, the FTC's investigation is basically spawned from multiple consumer complaints and advocacy groups that have been increasingly vocal about their need for greater transparency and how retailers are using people's data. And quite frankly, I think this is absolutely true. If a widget or whatever costs $20, then it should be $20. And if I'm willing to pay a little more for something, I shouldn't necessarily have to pay that. In the same way, if my neighbor is cheap and wants to pay less, it's $20. And so I think that's only fair, and I think the FTC should really be looking into this. And so that is your interesting news of the day. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. And please feel free to subscribe to me at YouTube as well. And as always, stay safe, stay online, and please attempt to stay private as best we can. Take care.